And we should be live. I'm just gonna give it a minute until I can see that you guys are here. Welcome everyone. Right, I see the numbers, so you should be able to hear me. We are live from Goa in India. It is 6 p.m. Indian time. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me properly. If any of you are watching this on replay in the next few days or weeks, we'll start in 2 minutes, so you could skip the next 2 minutes. And welcome Tariq and Suzanne. Cool, you can hear me well, perfect. I'm gonna tap the microphone again as last time because I've got a double I've got more risk of a misconnection, so I'm gonna tap the microphone 3 times. Let me know if you hear the bang bang. 3, 2, 1. Let me know in the chat if you've heard that. And again, if at any point you start hearing some wind noises, do let me know as well. That would signify that the connection has gone. Hi Shas, and welcome everyone that just joined. Your roots are half Indian. Cool. Did you ever come to Goa, Tariq? Well, it's a huge country. I don't think you can visit everywhere. I down. You've heard that, perfect. Thank you, Tish. Let me check. Hi, Tessa. It is officially time to start. So welcome everyone. I've got a little assistant today, so my sister is here. So if you spot someone in the background, it is Sarah. And welcome Cheryl, welcome everyone. Let's go. Without further ado, I'm gonna flip this camera around and let's go. So I've connected a little last minute today because my data is very much reduced. This is a very naked goddess. I don't know who she is, but I don't even know if I can show you that on YouTube. She's a bit titillating. We are in my hotel, by the way. Well, my room is not on this side. This is the nice side with the nice bungalows. We are at the back. And let's go down to the beach to see a bit of a sunset. By the way, guys, for any of my lives in India, if it cut, if at any point I disappear, don't panic, I'm still alive. It was a bit of a nightmare to get a SIM card, to be honest. I only arrived 2 days ago, and if any of you want to visit India, I recommend you take an eSIM before to go, because buying a physical SIM card is very complicated. I was running around Panjib yesterday, and it took forever to get a SIM card. Just to start it, you had to have your passport, your visa, take a photo on a white background. Even the guy that sold it to me had to take a selfie. Then everything had to be verified by the authorities and all that. The amount of data I'm getting is actually quite strange. I have 1.5 gigabytes a day. So, and I was told I cannot get more. I'm not entirely sure that's true, because yesterday when I reached half of the limit, I got a text with an offer. But anyway, if it cuts, because if I get a text today, that'll be too late, I'll be live anyway. So if it cuts, don't panic. I'm still alive, it's just data. So we'll try to keep it fairly short. We want to go and see the sunset, and hopefully I'll have time to take you all the way down till the main street, but we'll see. Tish, I hope the cows are still here. We'll see. So this is the beach where I took the cows photograph yesterday. And there's a lot of music in the background, but hopefully all the musics are getting mixed from one private beach strike. Let's see. So this is Baga Beach. We're not in So we are in North Goa at the moment. I've lost you for a sec. I'm gonna make a move, see if it's any better. And we should be back. Apologies, I've lost you for a sec. So I was saying, Goa, it's not a city, it is a state. I'm gonna try to go quite close to the water to avoid the music in the background. And let me get my shoes off. So yeah, it's a state. We are in North Goa at the moment, on a place called Baga Beach. And the sun has just gone behind the clouds. I was hoping for a lovely sunset. It was lovely until 10 minutes up, with a huge amount of neon lights, and the music is extremely strong. It's crazy, too strong, like not enjoyable. Very very loud. I expected it to be a bit of a party place, but not like that. It's very noisy in the evening. You don't see many people in the water. I have a feeling that a lot of people from India might not be taught how to swim as a child, because a lot of people. It's very different. At daytime it's quiet, but the minute the sunset starts, they change the chair to very noisy. Hi Janice, and welcome anyone that just joined. Now, Goa is quite different from the rest of India. The Brits, really. The Portuguese arrived in I think it was 1510, and you can still very much see Panjim. You might also see it under a different name. It's Panjim and Panaji. It's exactly the same city. It's got two names. But that was the old Portuguese town, and it's very Portuguese. I mean, it looks almost like Brazil to an extent, and you can really feel the Portuguese influence with all the Catholic churches and the names. Actually, we went to a little cemetery earlier today. All the graves, all the names were very very Portuguese. I didn't actually expect that. Someone fishing there. Fishing right next to people that could swim, but no one is swimming by this weather. So you can easily imagine this place in a few hours. Everyone is already ready for a party. It's very busy with tourism, but mainly domestic tourism. We didn't really see many people from Europe or from America. I think there's a lot of domestic tourists that are here. And whenever I'm here, whenever I'm in any remote place across the globe, when I see a white bearded man, I always check their faces very carefully, in case it might be Xavier Dupont de Ligonnès, the French murderer in Nantes, the mass murderer that killed all his family. We still think he might have escaped somewhere quite remote. So anytime I see a bearded white male, I'm like, And talking about bearded white male, 1975, there's a British gentleman that came here. He was known as Jungle Barry. Let me show you his photograph. He was from Britain and he was quite well educated. He started living here in 75, and he was doing excursions in the jungle. And let me remove his photo. It's getting very noisy. I hope you can still hear me properly. So he's running those excursions, and of course some of his customers would be British sometimes. apparently once one of his customers was like, how do you know so much about history? And he said, I am part of history. And because he was British, because he was very well educated, because he had arrived in 75 after having been in Africa, some people, including a former Scotland Yard detective, assumed he might have been Lord Lucan. Apologies, it's very, very noisy now. So yeah, some people were convinced that he was Lord Lucan, you know, John Bingham, the infamous missing murderer from the case in Belgravia in London in 74. So much so that they wrote a full book about him. I think Jungle Barry was already dead, and they had cremated his body, so they couldn't actually do any DNA test. And I think it has since been established that it was not him. But interesting story. Can you tell me in the chat if you can still hear me properly? I'm gonna make a move anyway. I'm gonna try to go back into town because it's a bit much. Let me know if you can hear me properly. Here we go. Hello, mate. Hello. They are everywhere. We rented some scooters today, and you have quite a few cars in the middle of the road. Hello. You're gonna be a YouTube sensation, my love. So they're roaming free, you know. They are everywhere. Yesterday they were coming to visit people on their chairs, you know, their beach chairs, and they're eating some of the rubbish sadly left by people. There are quite a few people littering the floor, unfortunately. But yeah, cute. And we've got a lot of doggies as well. Not many cats. I've seen a few cats in Panjim, but they were not very well. They had some eye infections and stuff. The dogs, they look a bit better for some reason. I don't know if the locals feed them very much, but yeah. I didn't think the cows would be there with such a loud music, but they're probably used to it now because it's like this every day. So yeah, it's very, very much of a party beach. A lot of people taking selfies everywhere. Another one. Let's go and see this one. Hello. Yesterday I had some people asking to take selfies with me. Only me, not my sister, just me. So I was like, what's happening? Do I look like a Bollywood superstar that I don't know about? Do I have a look-alike in India? I don't know. I should bring them some food then. What do you eat, my love? Well, let's leave the party beach behind. Apologies for the lack of sunset, and let's go into the main street. So it's already quite lit up, but at night it's crazy. It looks like a fair, really, almost like an amusement ground or a fair. Yeah. Quite a bit of litter everywhere, though. That's quite sad. I don't know if they have any volunteers picking it up. I think it's a little bit quieter in the other locations. We've been a bit up the coast today. It was a bit quieter than here, but here it's a party place. It was annexed into India, so India had recently been independent in 47 from Britain. Let me put my shoes back, bear with me one sec. it's gonna be far quieter on the streets, hopefully. Bear with me, I'm just putting my flip-flops back on. There we go. So yeah, the Portuguese were here from well, nearly 4.5 century really. So you can really see, this is not the area where you see the best architecture, but you see a lot of it in the capital. And let me show you, people keep honking at you even when there's absolutely no danger. We rented scooters today. This yellow one is the same as the one I had, same color as my bicycle in London. But it can be very scary because people honk a lot, so you think there's a danger. There's nothing, it's just that they want to let you know. But it can be a bit scary. There were some rebellions against the Portuguese. It was the Pinter Revolt. 47 co-conspirators were trying to rebel against the Portuguese, but they were caught. They were basically complaining because in the clergy, the non-Portuguese couldn't access the top positions. And sadly, they were caught and they were executed. They were dragged behind horses on 40 kilometers, and their hands were cut off, and then they were beheaded. And all their goods were stolen, and their families were shamed. So that the Inquisition here as well. And well, although it was not against the Hindus, they ended up destroying a few temples as well. Let me show you another proof of the religion here. I was listening to conversion. Apparently it was quite hard at first for the Portuguese to convert people here, because local people would be like, yeah, sure, yeah, Jesus, yeah, okay. But then they'll keep worshiping. They were like, yeah, sure, but they didn't actually do it for a while. And now you see quite a few people that are strongly Catholics. It's probably just because it's very busy. Of course, I hope we're back. See the red chili. We tend to think that Indian cuisine is very chili, but would you believe it's actually the Portuguese that brought the chilies in Asia at all? Guys, can you hear me now? I'm not getting any feedback. So can you hear me now? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me and if you remember what were we talking about before the buffering. I do apologize. I did not expect it to be that busy quite yet at 6 p.m. It's probably because it's been very busy that the signal is going down a bit. Okay, you can hear me. Let me know. Okay, you can hear me. Can you do you remember what I was talking about before the buffering? So I could go back and tell you what you've missed. If any of you remembers, that'll be great. Not all Indians like spicy food. Do you not like spicy food, Tariq? Not everything is spicy. I like my spices. You have a lot of beautiful street food over here. I think those are some dahi potato puri. Did you guys hear when I was talking about the Portuguese Inquisition? I think that might be when it cut, but I don't know. I don't know how much you've heard. The Portuguese converting. Oh, I thought that was before that. So yeah, you lost the sound. Okay, I'm confused now. Do we have the sound? Can you hear me? Can you hear me well now? So it's a bit manic in terms of traffic. Anyway, I'll just repeat everything. So the Portuguese, they had in the 16th century they had an Inquisition here. After the Spanish Inquisition, you had the Portuguese Inquisition. It was not originally not against the Hindus, but against the Iberian Peninsula to come here, and of course then they ended up targeting the Hindus as well. So there were a few temples that were destroyed, and there were some revolts. The Pinter Revolt in 1787. There were 47 co-conspirators that were caught trying to rebel against the Portuguese power. Sadly, they were hanged. Well, they were not hanged, but they were drawn and beheaded. And then they were beheaded. All their properties were stolen. Their families were shamed, and after that, people did not really rebel again against the Portuguese. So the Portuguese only left in 1961. That's when India annexed Goa. So before that, Goa was not technically part of India. That reminds you of Vietnam. I've not actually been to Vietnam. Oh, is it still buffering? Oh, sorry, it's just very, very busy. Hopefully I'll pick up a quieter location next time. I think it's just probably too many people live on the internet at the same time. Let me show you a bit of the food. So you have a lot of amazing street food everywhere. And a lot of cashew nuts. Let's go up this way, why not? They have a lot of cashews. You can literally buy kilos and kilos for nothing. Those huge bags, they probably cost about I think 200. So not much, just a few dollars for a huge bag of cashews. By the way, there was a murder victim that was found in a cashew field in the 90s. They had a horrible killer here in Goa, in quite a large area of about 40 kilometers around the capital, Panjim. I think it started in 94, and it lasted for about 15 years. The gentleman was, the guy was horrible. He would dress up as a businessman, and he would approach some extremely poor girls that he didn't know from anywhere, and he would go and tell them that his father had noticed them and he wanted to marry them, but they had to keep that secret for the time being until they could be introduced to his sister, and eventually whenever he managed to have them away from people for a date or come to his place, then he would steal their goods and strangle them. He had 16 victims in total, and he managed to do that for 15 years. There was a bit of a gap. There were 8 years with no murders, and very sadly, the families of those victims, they couldn't get the best lawyers and stuff because he purposely targeted extremely poor ladies so it would have been a good prospect of marriage. So horrible killer, and the money he'd get out of them was nothing, just like a few jewelries, really. And of course he assaulted them as well, you know. His name was Mahamad Naik. He was a nasty case. Let me show you some of the goods. A lot of souvenirs. And more cashews. I don't have space for souvenirs because, hello, because I came here on a hand luggage again. So I'm extremely tight in terms of bags. So no souvenirs for me. So you can see a very busy street. And the prices are, when you come from Europe, the prices seem to be very affordable. Even like for today, to rent a moped, a scooter, we spend less than £6, probably about £5 for a full day. So that's nice. Same for food. You can get some amazing food for very decent prices. Elephant carvings, yes. Hello. Yes, exactly, Tish, compared to Turkey. So some of you might know I was in Turkey about a month ago, and I couldn't even rent a scooter because they were like €50 a day. So it is 10 times less over here. And on very decent vehicles. Hello. Thank you. Cool. Let's I'm gonna stop here because it's fairly quiet to end the tour over here. Well, it's good to know that I was able to do 33 minutes because I don't know exactly how much I can do with 1 gigabyte before it cuts off. So so we'll finish it here before it cuts off. Let me flip this camera around. And let me know in the chat if you have any questions before we go. Apologies for all the signal buffering. Hopefully it's just because it's very busy. The next one, I'm hoping, should be a little bit quieter. Although I'm not even sure where the next one will be, because we meant to go down to Kerala on that day, but we're not sure whether we have a train ticket or not. Booking a train ticket can be a little bit challenging, so we don't actually know if we have a ticket or if we are on some kind of a waiting list, but hopefully the next one will be in Kerala. Cool. Thanks everyone. I'll show you Sarah again. There she is. Let me know if you have any questions, and if any of you drop me a little tip on buy me a coffee or on PayPal or anywhere, that's very much appreciated. I know I might seem like I'm in an amazing paradise location, but it still takes a bit of time and energy to prepare those tours. Thanks Pauline. Thanks ever so much. No, lethargy. It'll be on the 28th, I think. It'll be on the 28th, unless I find an amazing location with a good signal and I do a last-minute one. But I don't think so. I think that'll be on the 28th in Kerala. Hopefully, if we do get there. Cool. Thank you guys. Have a great evening or great morning. I know it's very early for some of you in the US and in Canada. So thank you for having waken up so early for me. And I'll see you in a few days after Christmas. So have a wonderful Christmas and behave yourselves. And I'll see you soon. Bye bye.